Any items from the public? If there's not, can I have a motion to approve the agenda if there's no modifications or changes?
Yes, Mr. President. Motion to approve the agenda for May 23rd, 2024.
I have a motion to have a second.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. We're going through the Sure. Okay. We're going to certify the returns of the primary election on May 14th, 2024. The Board of Canvassers of the Berkeley County, State of West Virginia, having carefully and impartially examined the returns of the primary election held in said county on the 14th day of May 2024, do hereby certify that in said county or district at said election on the official ballot for the offices of, read all the offices.
Maybe just offices that were on the ballot.
Okay, just all the offices that were on the ballot for the primary election. I need a motion to accept the certified returns as. Okay, sorry, Anthony.
They received some communication. So because there are races that are statewide, can't do it until 48 hours after the last one.
The last county.
The last county.
So even though we're done.
Said May 24th at what time? So
Tomorrow.
I mean, you can wait till Monday.
Anybody have the pleasure?
For a meeting?
For them to certify the result.
No, we don't have to have we don't have to
don't
announce
have to
publish the meeting. We just have to come
They
in
just
and
have to
certify the
Certify
results.
the results and sign it. You'll have minutes to just say at this time we.
Monday's a holiday.
Fayette County, I guess.
So I don't think we need to make that decision now. How about we'll talk about it?
Yeah, you don't have to.
We won't make any motions on this until,
How long do you have to do it? Is there a time limit on that?
We'll just do it next Thursday?
I think you can do it next Thursday.
okay.
That was my question. Can you wait that long?
Yes.
And we will hold this until next
I don't think
Thursday.
there's anything.
It's just a restriction on it. You can't do it till a
The
certain time.
hours for statewide races ends at May 24th.
So you can certify all of the other than the ones that aren't statewide, but it would make sense.
Sounds like next Thursday's your date, folks.
Okay. We will do this next Thursday. Is that all right? Penny? Thank you. All righty.
Never mind.
Never mind. Withdraw that, ask for a motion. Purchase order log. Anything for Tracy? Did anybody have any questions for our consent agenda? Internal budget revision. We have one. Mr.
Yes,
Wine.
sir. You do. You have a request from Sheriff Blair to move $1,000 from their materials and supply line item to their training line item, and the funds are there to make such transaction.
Okay. Change in status. A new hire recommendation received from Tim Zaya, Community Corrections Director, for Leah Hoskins as a DRC therapist with the annual salary of $65,000 effective June 10th, 2024. New hire recommendation received from Mike Lang, Chief Court Marshal, for Jeffrey Hunt as Deputy Court Marshal with the annual salary of $39,017. And that's effective May 31st of 2024. Change in status received from Chief Marty Roberts, Emergency Management, for Jeremy Taylor. He is being promoted to lieutenant with a salary increase from $71,154 to $74,661, and that's effective June the 1st. Change in status received from Tim Zaya, Community Corrections Director, for Jessica Lundblad. She is going from peer recovery coach to DRC case manager. Her salary will go from $43,135 to $50,676. And that is effective May the 28th. We We have a letter of resignation received from IT from Corey Comler, and that's effective May the 10th. Letter of resignation received from court security from Kurt Brockway. That's effective May 31st, 2024. Letter of resignation received from Day Report Center for the following: Megan Riedel, on my names. That's effective June the 1st. Brooke Sowers, effective May 24th. Robert Wynn, effective May 31st. And Wendy Schwartz, effective May the 20th. Anything else that everybody knows? Okay. Approval of the minutes. Everyone was present, so we can leave them in. We have a canceled check request from the clerk's office, finance office, and a resolution, Industrial Access Road IAR grant program. Anybody have anything else? All righty. Let's see, nothing from the assessor for the correction of assessment logs. Oh, I need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I move to approve the consent agenda for May 23rd, 2024.
All right, have a motion to have a second.
Second.
Second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. Nothing from the assessor. Board and meeting reports. Mr. Barnhart, we'll start
Oh,
with
thank
you.
you, Mr. President. Of course, I attended the election canvassing on Monday. It was a wonderful time. Had a Board of Health meeting that evening. I did not attend, but they, as you may or may not know, Kara Harding was promoted to the administrator position, which left the sanitarian supervisor position open. Marty, I think his name is, who was a sanitarian there, went to the district office as regional sanitarian. Well, he's coming back as sanitarian supervisor.
Marty,
I don't know. He's one of the, he's probably been there a year when he left, so personal experience, not too good, but I'm sure he knows the book. And, they go by the book.
Yep, they sure do.
So no interpretation needed. So good luck. I had a Telmon meeting yesterday, pretty much routine. It's funny, Jefferson County Commission has a slot. That position's been vacant since Jackson left, and they decided not to approach them until they figure out what they're doing with the Jefferson County Commission. So that position's currently vacant. And that was my meetings.
Very good. Mr. Catlett?
Well, I enjoyed my first canvass of the election votes.
Pretty illuminating, wasn't it?
It was, and I just suggest we have it a place where we have HVAC in the future. We can have the day, but
I'm afraid you're stuck with Baltimore Street. 'Cause that's where all the equipment is.
yeah, I get it. Penny saved the day with the fans.
She was proud of that fan,
She
Steve.
should be, because she saved the day. So, and she had peanuts too. That helped.
That's left over from Norwood.
Tuesday, I had the pleasure of finally getting to meet Roberta Bobby Walters. It's now Bobby Walters. We're on a personal friendship now, and he met us at the falls. Myself and Jack Owens, who was there representing the Shenandoah Valley Battlefield Foundation, and Bobby brought her son Richie with her, which was good to meet him and get his insight into the thing. But we spent about 3 or 4 hours together. I took him to lunch at the Spring Mills Diner after we left the property, and just had a really good conversation throughout the day with about the property. And I feel really positive about the situation, that it could lead to some really good things there.
What exactly does she own?
She owns the falls itself and the property to the south side of the falls, of which has quite a bit of Potomac River access. And I was pleasantly surprised because when I was there before, it was so grown up. didn't really walk down onto the property to the river, but this time we did, and there's already a concrete boat ramp, motorboat ramp, already in place there, which is phenomenal. The view of the river at that particular location is unbelievable in both directions, upstream and downstream. The potential there is just unbelievable, and I can't. So at this point, she's still not ready to consider selling the property, but I think she's really interested, very much so, in leasing the property to the Shenandoah Valley Battlefield Foundation. And so Jack's going to bring Kevin Walker, who is the CEO of the foundation, within the next week or so down, and hopefully I'll meet with him down there again. We also, of course, went over to the house, the property that's on the other side of Encampment Road. She owns 2 lots where the house is, and was very surprised at what condition the house is in. Very good shape, to be honest with you, and, even though it's been empty for a number of years. But it's an amazing piece of property. It would be a wonderful thing. I think they're very interested in preserving the history of the place with, you know, and as I told Jack Owens there, I really think if we could obtain this property that on the north side of the falls, which was owned by the CSX or whomever, it's now owned by the DOH. And they don't maintain that property. It's similar to what down the Stonebridge, you know, and the property there. I would think they would be more than willing to relinquish that, you know, over if it became a park as part of the whole package, you know. And of course, the people that go down to look at the falls now do it on the north side, on the DOH side, because her side is gated and all. But it went really well, and I think we've got a future here potentially of getting access to this. And I talked to her son one-on-one quite a bit about the fact that, and I think she's taken care of her husband for the past 10 years, and and the son actually moved back from Arizona to help her with taking care of his dad. She doesn't have the time and energy at this point in her life to worry about this place, and I think that's working in our favor. And like I said, even if she doesn't sell it, there'll be a lease agreement on it, and in that lease agreement will be right of first refusal when they do want to sell the property. I'm glad her son was there, because my concern, if something happened to her and for some reason she passed, then it could cloud the whole situation. But he was very, I think he would lead the charge in maybe seeing this become what it could be. It was very enlightening, and it was just great to meet her. My thought of how she was going to be was totally different when I met her. She's a very sophisticated lady, very intelligent lady, really a class lady, and I think they are thrilled with the idea that this could become not only a recreational area for the community, but also the history preserved about the Civil War and also. Later on Tuesday, we had a sewer board meeting at 5, and then nothing new to report there. The only thing, the last pumping station that needs to be done out in the Hedgesville area, they were replacing 6 pump stations there, is the one that they call it the Eckert station, where on Miller's Curve. That's the last one that's being worked on, and it should be finished here within the next month or so. And that's going to help with that whole situation out at that end of the county. Following that, of course, is our stormwater board meeting, and I'm pleased to report, and I emailed you guys a copy of it this morning. State has finally released a proposal for their MS4 statewide permit. It's under review now, I think, for 30 days. And so hopefully with our staff, we need to review this and then offer any suggestions of changes or whatever, you know, during this open period for 30 days. It's going to be a statewide permit in the future, so if it's approved eventually, then that would eliminate the need for us to have our own separate MS4 permit. It's going to take in all the municipalities and everyone in the state, and we would just register under that. So at first glance, it looks like there's a couple things in question that it could tighten things up a little bit more than we would hope. But at the same time, it's a situation where I feel we're at their mercy. And of course, the EPA will have the final, they'll have to go through their clearance before it is approved. But the good news is if it's approved and we get into a position where we register through that, then the whole Back Creek Valley area will be taken out of the growth area at that time in the new registered permit, and we could waive those fees to the whole end of the county that's not affected by this growth area. So, but it's going to be a work in progress. We hope to have a virtual meeting next week. Gary and I and Greg Rowe and Curtis Keller with Richard Lewis, he's an attorney out of Charleston, but he has expertise in dealing with the DEP and those agencies. And so he's going to offer his suggestions next week to us on how to proceed in terms of what we should be concerned about. And I made mention of the fact, too, at the meeting that I thought we also should talk to the city and Andy Blake. Andy and I had a conversation about it last week after the MPO meeting. Obviously, it affects them as well because they're going to have to be registered under the same permit. And we may have some things we want to suggest together with the city as to what we think.
The school board has their own permit also.
The Board of Education.
Board of Education, yeah.
Here in Berkeley County. Yeah.
Well, I think we're maybe statewide, I don't know.
I wasn't aware of that.
I'm
but
pretty sure so.
I
As
know,
does,
like in-
as
in-
does the state road.
As does the state road, yeah.
Yeah, in Morgantown, for instance, West Virginia University is a separate registered MS4 permit from
Right.
the town and city of Morgantown. So,
I
but
wonder.
I think there's 50. I was told there were 50 some entities, and of course we're the only county in the state out of the 55 that has an MS4 permit. But most of them are municipalities, of course. But there's 50 some in the state. So. And I get what you're saying, and to me, a statewide permit would be better than an individual permit. But we hope that it won't make things worse. I hope in terms of restrictions and all. But there's some things in there of concern, though. One of them is suggestion of not only holding stormwater but treating it. I don't know how you get into treatment of that's got our eyebrows raised, to say the least. So. We just need to look at it real carefully and review it and figure out what we need to say, and hopefully be successful in getting a pretty good program in place.
Wonder what kicks in their funding mechanism.
Yeah, I don't know that at this point. I think the funding issue will probably, in my guess is, Jim, it'll remain about the same as long as we have a designated budget for it, and you got that budget. I don't know. You got the one from the sewer. And you should be getting
came.
one from
Everybody
stormwater too.
They'll
Okay,
have them.
you have that to review. I think it was around just under 1.6 million is the stormwater budget annually from the fees that are in place, and that if you would take the Back Creek Valley fees out of that, that's a little over $200,000 you'd have to offset if you did a new fee structure. So it's not, in my mind, a great amount of money at all. So, but anyway, it's going to be something we need to really look at here over the next month carefully, and hopefully make some. But I think the charge is going to be led by this Richard Lewis. He seems to be the guy that really knows what he's doing and has a relationship with the DEP to handle this and address the issues on our behalf. So.
Right.
And then Wednesday, we had our senior services meeting, and just real pleased with the senior service board at this point in the fundraising that's going on. Becky Linton is a champion in terms of fundraising, and they're doing really well. That's all that I had.
Thank you, Steve. Eddie?
Well, my thing, if it becomes a statewide permit, then the state needs to take care of financing of it as well.
Well,
Yeah,
I hear you.
Get that out of Berkeley County and back to the state where it's going to hopefully belong. Once again, as everybody else, the Board of Canvas this week, I'd like to thank the poll workers that came forward and offered their services and their time, and also congratulate the winners of those particular races. On Tuesday, Parks and Rec, hotel motel monies are down. The pools will be open on the 25th. I went by War Memorial and Lambert this week, and both of them, the water looks beautiful on both of them. So hopefully we'll be off to a good start. And all last summer we had troubles with Lambert, and my hats off to the city for stepping up and making sure that pool was taken care of. They've done a nice job there with Millennium getting that squared away. At Poorhouse, the fountain and the aerator is now working, in which, as you know,
You got to have it.
when it doesn't, a bunch of algae creates there. But they had muskrats chew into the wiring.
Is that what it was?
Yeah. So once they replace all the wiring, both of them are back up and running, and the lake is beautiful again. June Jubilee is on the 9th at War Memorial Park, and they are set up for the Tony Saylor concert series this summer as well. So they've got some really nice bands coming there. And also this week is EMS week, and I'd like to be able to thank all of our EMTs and medics across the city and the county for their services, and congratulate all the graduates of the high school this week.
All right.
Edgersville was last night, and if you were trying to get home, it was
Better use the
you needed
bypass.
to bypass on Park. Yeah, it was amazing.
All righty. Again, like Eddie, I thank all the poll workers and everybody that helped out with the canvass of the votes, and to all the winners of
We
the.
got some new relationships to develop.
Yes, we do.
I think the biggest disappointment to me in the whole election, though, was the fact that we went out and created 2 new early voting precincts for the community, thinking it was going to be a high voter turnout, especially. And it's embarrassing, and I want to say this publicly, that Berkeley County was, based on percentage of registered voters, was last in the state of West Virginia.
That's sad.
17%. It's pretty daggone sad, to say the least. I mean, you're talking, we lost to McDowell County in this, as far as percentages. It's a real shame.
Something's amiss. I can't
It's
figure it
just, I
out.
don't understand it, but oh well.
Oh, well, yeah. Again, thanks to all the ones who got out and worked and did all the necessary needs to make it a successful voter option. So anyway, my first meeting I had on Monday, which was with EPTA, Eastern Panhandle Transit Authority. First thing on the agenda sort of was through the budget reports. They're on budget, and they're still within the percentages of the year where they needed to be. They also said they paid down $75,000 in additional principal on their note that they had, which I thought was pretty remarkable considering, they have on their travels. But then they had a bid opening on 510 for the new depot out here off of Raleigh Street, corner Raleigh and Race. Yeah. For the construction of the new facility. They had 3 bids that were turned in out of 7 contractors who went to the pre-bid construction meeting or pre-bid meeting. And the one that supposedly is going to be awarded the bid was for $19,184,000, and that was within budget, they said. So hopefully that will
What was
still.
that again, Jim?
19,184,000. And hopefully that'll still stay within the budget of the Transit Authority. So
When are they talking about?
breaking ground,
Yeah.
got that right here.
Oh,
6/26 is the groundbreaking at 2 p.m. We will all be getting notices for that. On 6/17 was to what they will be voting on to award the contract to the successful bidder. And then, like I said, the groundbreaking is scheduled for the 26th of June. And they're thinking it's about an 18-month project. And now they're also on Apple Maps. So you can download that app for your iPhone, find out where all the transit buses are, how soon they are going to be to you if you're at a bus stop waiting on them. So that was pretty exciting that they are
Elaine
now.
Bartleson is a really good lady. She, of course, is heading that, but she's also the president of the MPO right now, that Jim and I serve on, so she's a good lady.
Yes, she is.
And they're really excited about what that's going to do for their situation. It's going to be a great improvement, so.
Let's see, they adopted their fiscal year draft budget for fiscal year 25. And 3 employees have been nominated for the West Virginia Transit Excellence Awards, and their recipients will be going to Stonewall Resort, I'm sorry, to see if they won those awards. And they were successful the last couple of years of having the award winners there. So they're going to give them the time off to go and accept, and another little leisure time to spend there for that day. So, and that was the Transit Authority. And the Airport Authority, we sent a check to the Development Authority, so finalization of that with that they had loaned us money for purchase of a piece of property. We are within budget. However, the budget numbers are off a little bit. Fuel sales are down, especially in the Jet A. A little bit. It's like the product of the year, the environment. For whatever reason, it's you can pay the same price for fuel if in closer to the city as we pay out here, but we're in the red out here, and it's a given number for in there. So we're kind of in competition. We're trying to figure out whether or not we need to readjust the fuel price levels, maybe to entice the greater traffic back to the airport in Martinsburg. But if it happens, it'll be good. If not, then it's no money lost as far as if you don't sell the fuel, you didn't lose anything. That was just a little tidbit of what was going on. The relationship between we have a bid opening at 10. Okay. We're going to hold off on my report, and we're going to go ahead and open up the bid. Sorry.
Mr. President, you have bids for drones a drone to be used by the SWAT team. You do have certification of publication. It was on our website, and the Sheriff's Department delivered the request to all known vendors who may have interest, and you have 2 responses.
Okay. 2 responses. Who is the?
This looks like the one taped at the ballot was or the canvas.
This one here is photography people. Is it Andorama? How you-
Adorama?
Adorama. Okay. ADORAMA. Out of New York, New York.
the city so nice they named it.
Yeah. And let's see. Looking for an amount. I think it's quote totals are $38,880.99. This is for, you say,
A drone for the SWAT team for the Sheriff's Department.
okay.
It's grant funded.
Uh, This is submitted by Axon, AXON Enterprise out of Scottsdale, Arizona.
Wow.
If I'm looking right, Eddie, you gave me the number of $72,365.40. Might need a pair of glasses.
Almost double.
That is correct. So we'll leave that to the SWAT team to go over. Is that correct?
That is correct.
That's it? No more?
Do they have licensed pilots over there?
They do not. They will have to for usage. There are two licensed pilots in the organization, Randy Lilly from Homeland Security and Archie Locke from IT. So that'll have to all be addressed as they move forward.
It has really gotten to be technical in order to fly a drone.
It has, in fact.
Getting back to the my airport authority meeting, they had they're going through another fee structure for rent increases on their T hangars, tie down fees and things like that, which they're kind of minimal. They're not too astronomically increased. So they're off on their fuel percentages of their sales for April of 2023 compared to 2024. They're off by about 26%, so not a huge amount, but still it's just a little bit of an anomaly, so make that happen. And that's about it. And we also had a planning commission meeting, but I got tied up, so we were discussing changing the meeting, and it didn't go well for me to have them change the meeting, but I told them, I said I would not be attending all the meetings that they would have every month, but I'd be kept informed on them. So kind of a conflict with the planning commission. Other than that, that's all I had. And where are we?
Mr. President, if I may.
Okay.
Mr. President, if I may.
Yes, sir.
Larry wasn't here, the assessor. However, you moved the assessor from their existing space in the Dunn building to the first floor. Hats off to the assessor and his staff. Hats off to your facility staff, Jack Lang and their team. No events. They moved. The assessor never stopped functioning out in their office. They operated in two offices. They got moved down to their new space completely on Tuesday. They started Monday morning, pardon me. So a very well orchestrated effort. You have two offices left. The ambulance authority will move, obviously, and then move the county clerk from 100 West King here. So Larry and his staff were awesome. And they had a lot of stuff. So kudos to them. So
Very good.
I didn't
Well,
want to go by.
How's the new layout working for them?
Personally, I asked the same question to them, and it's well received, and they were instrumental and involved from the day one on the design, Mr. Barnhart. So
Yeah, I
I
figured
assume
they
they like
were.
it. It sure is sharp down there. So stop down if you get
Yeah,
a
I
chance
was
today.
planning to.
I stopped in yesterday. It's really nice, really nice. I suggest we move our offices down there because it's a lot cooler on the bottom floor, Penny, than it is up here, so just thought I'd mention that. But
Heat rises, my
I guess we'll
man.
have to stick it out up here.
Heat rises.
Yeah, obviously, yep.
All
They
righty.
got me hooked up in my office like it.
All righty. Anything else about the heat and temperature? All righty. Board and commission vacancies. We need to send out a couple thank you letters. Chris Strovel for the Region 9 board. Is that correct? Am I reading that?
Well, Chris Strobel and Neil McLaughlin both indicated they've been on a long time and it's time to get off and let somebody else get on. And you know, of course, I understand it. They're both great members. And of course, we have a couple applicants for replacement, which are pretty good members, Nick Deal and Elaine Bartleson. So I'd like to talk to them both because I like to hear what they have to say because, you know, they are entertaining customers.
Mhm.
And so I'd like Penny to schedule Neil and Elaine for approval.
Come in for a chat.
And we will actually be on next week to give you an update on
Well, that may just work out.
it.
And Nick is the chairman of that board, so maybe they'll
Yeah.
both be in.
Yeah.
See if we can get that taken care of as well.
Okay. All righty.
Well, you had a couple other thank you letters.
For Helen Harris and for Monty Hicks, is that correct? Okay. All right.
Why's Helen Harris getting off?
Turned down.
Oh,
Yeah, both of them are turned
Oh.
down.
it's funny how some agencies have term limits and other agencies don't. You know, it's like, how do you keep track of all this
I
stuff?
don't know. Somebody
Tracy
it.
does.
Tracy,
Yeah.
Tracy
Tracy
does. We'll leave it to Tracy. All righty. Well, we're a little bit ahead of time, but I think the crew's here. Mark Barney with Vice Chairman of the Berkeley County Solid Waste Authority, recognition of recycling contest winners. So come on up, Mark. Good to have you here this morning. Sure. Tell us what's going on in the recycle world.
Mr. Whitaker, Mr. Barnhart, Mr. Gokenauer, Mr. Catlett, thanks for having us. I'm Mark Barney. I'm the Vice Chairman of the Berkeley County Solid Waste Authority. I'm also the principal at South Middle School, which is going to be represented here today. Some years back, our partnership with Apple Valley Waste led us to this initiative that we're going to talk about today. Apple Valley Waste moved from single stream recycling to commingled recycling at the curb. That resulted in them collecting a bunch of containers. They had a green lead and a yellow lead. They collected them back and they gave their customers one single container to recycle in. So that led us, as a member of the Solid Waste Authority, I put a lot of emphasis on education, and we work with them on a program that we like to call Operation Green Lead, where we take the containers that were left over that they collected back, the single containers they were using, and if a school wants to participate, they come and get some containers from us at the Solid Waste Authority, and they participate in this recycling program where they transport their material to the recycling facility. That program has had numerous different levels of interest and participation. We had as many as 5 schools, and it's disappointing for me in a county of 31 that we're only getting 5 to participate. But the transportation piece is a challenge for schools. They have to get the material there on their own because a waste hauler cannot haul this. We have to do it on our own. So we're relying on parent volunteers, which St. Joe's does an exceptional job of. This year we only had 2 participants, South Middle School and St. Joe's, and I counted up the tallies before I came this morning. St. Joe's collected just over 600 of those totes and transported them to the Grapevine Road Recycling Center, and South Middle School just a bit over 300. So we're pretty close to 1,000 totes kept out of a landfill and taken to the Grapevine Road Recycling Center. In the initial phase of this, we gave out $1,000, 500, 300, 200. And you recall last year we had 3 schools here represented, and that's how it was divvied up. We have $1,000 in the budget for this, so we decided this year, because there were just 2 schools participating, that we would just give those schools equal amount of money. So I am happy to present to St. Joe's School and South Middle School, each of them a check for $500.
Very good.
It's you look at numbers, it's very impressive to me that a school with such fewer students is able to muster what they mustered with all the support that they get. Miss Partington, I think, chairs this, kind of heads this up. And they do an exceptional job. They do an amazing job. At South Middle School, I can speak to it because I see it all the time. We have a group of kids with Mrs. Barnhart. That's Michelle Barnhart back there. She's one of our classroom teachers. She works with a network of kids, a little bigger than this group, usually about 5 or 6 kids, and it's kind of a simulated workplace. They have jobs, things they have to do, specific days they have to go collect. They store the totes in a specific area, a staging area for us, and we, as a staff, work to get it hauled over. It's a lot of work, but it's saving landfill space, and we greatly appreciate everyone's effort. St. Joe's, you come up and receive your check, and maybe get a picture.
Yep, we will. We'll go ahead and give the checks, and we'll take a break and get a picture. All righty, we're back in session. Mr. Wine, you have a state budget revision for us?
Thank you, Mr. President. State Budget Revision Number 11. We'll have one more no later than June 15th, and that'll finalize this year's fiscal process. In this revision, you are realizing $209,173 into the budget and distributing it. I'm proposing you distribute it as follows. In account 412, which is agriculture agent, increase that by $3,400. That's to cover deficiencies in funding for insurance. 425, which is other buildings, that is our debt service line. I gave you the big budget revision last month, and there's a $200 discrepancy. So we're adding $200. I'm proposing you add $200 to account 425. Account 442, which is federal grants. There's been some pass-through money come through. There was a grant for a vehicle for law enforcement and a couple other things, if you recall. That money came through. We need to increase that by $49,103. State grants, increase it by $65,800. That again is pass-through money. There was some ball field money and some fencing money, things of that nature. Account 699, that is your contingency account. Asking you to reduce that by $270,547. Account 700, Sheriff's Law Enforcement, you're increasing that by $146,688. A goodly portion of that, to the tune of just short of $90,000, was the donation money for their pistol purchases, if you'll remember. And the others is deficiencies with promotional changes in funding and salaries. 701, proposing increase in that by $33,200. That again is to cover salaries. Account 716, which is animal control, increase it by $46,500 to address deficiencies in several line items, to include overtime, holiday pay, and retirement. Central garage, which is 717, increase it by $5,000. I've kept a lot of the reimbursements for accidents and incidents from insurance and kind of been putting that in the contingency, but we're going to need just a little bit of money to survive in the garage for the month of June. 731, which is the day report center, increase it by $69,278. As your grant money comes in for funding positions and things, this is just to keep that budget on the right side of negative. So again, great job. Tim's doing a good job. In account 801, which is mental health, your transport division, the $20,000 increase is to cover overtime. 802 is the Recovery Resource Center, $16,680 increase to cover, again, salaries. And lastly, account 900, which is Parks and Recreation, a $23,871 is to write that funding budget for transactions that were carried over from last fiscal year that we actually paid this fiscal year. So total net difference increase was $209,173, and then reduce contingencies by $270,547.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the budget revision 11, Fund 001?
So moved.
Have a motion to have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Like sign opposed, motion carries. Okay. And we do have an executive session for
Pending legal matters.
pending legal matters.
Mr. President, I move to go into executive session for pending legal matters.
Okay, we're in executive session.
Need to sign any of these.
No, Jim signed all.
Yeah, there's only one. Okay. We're out of executive session and no action to be taken. Any items from the public?
Not sure if I have one more
Oh,
item, if we
and-
may.
Okay, I'm sorry. Mr. Wine.
For purposes of the final purchase order process to make things and get our bills paid, we had it scheduled and thinking we would do it June 20th, which is West Virginia Day. Pushing it to the 27th won't give finance enough time. Cutting them off on the 13th makes it tough. Would the commission be open to possibly a special meeting on June 18th to process purchase orders that day real quick? And that would give finance a week and a half and give everybody time to submit their final bills.
What day of the week's that?
That's a Tuesday. It literally 15 minutes. We wouldn't process a full agenda, but we would need a quorum to
I'm
just
good.
do a PO log.
I'm good.
I'll make myself available.
Mr. Wicker, we may be in Florida.
The 18th?
I have Mr. Whitaker
I'm
out on the
coming home on the
20th.
I thought it's the
16th.
week before, Eddie.
Okay.
I'm coming
The
home.
week before?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I'm leaving on the 12th and be back on the 16th.
Okay.
I'll be here.
18th, Penn? 9:30, okay? You want to do it earlier, just to get it out of your way? You want 9:30? You tell me.
Do a little bit earlier.
Want to do it 8 o'clock?
Do it 8.
8 o'clock?
Is that okay?
That way it doesn't mess up your whole day? 8 o'clock, Penn? Thanks.
8 o'clock it is. And we'll put out that notice
We will.
accordingly.
Penny will take care of it.
All righty. Anything else, anybody? Okay, Mr. Barnhart,
Well, thank you, Mr. President, and I would really like to recess.
we are in recess.